According to Mitchell International, the following issues are the largest to affect future repairing of vehicles. Increased use of special materials. Aluminum has increased 24%. So there's 319 pounds in each car. Boron steel, the new Passat. I'm not sure I understand a lot about boron steel, but there are different kinds of steels and you can't weld them. And of course you can say, well, but we're not welding. Well, no, but the people that are fixing the cars are having to weld. And so some of these things don't affect you so much as they affect your customer. But if people can't buy cars and fix them, then that eliminates some of the places you sell parts. Manufacturing processes, including hard-to-perform bonding methods where they don't weld at all. They glue things together with special kinds of metals and glues and layers. Parts procurement programs becoming more prevalent. OEMs prefer it as it streamlines ordering and fulfillment. And we're seeing a lot of this in the auto recycling industry now, where there are aggregators out there that are putting the data together and then offering it in packages here and there and here and there. And some of the recyclers, perhaps even a lot of them, are not taking advantage of those systems yet. And or you haven't standardized your data yet. You're still pretending that parts that have damage don't really have damage, so on and so on. Electronic stability control, mandatory by 2012. Rollovers are 4% of accidents, but 20% of fatalities. That's pretty cool if you stop and think about it. They're going to make cars that roll. You either won't roll them, or when you do roll them, you won't be injured as severely. But for us, it's more electronics. Of course, everybody in the room can remember when we sold radios. We don't sell radios anymore because the radio does everything in the car almost. In a lot of cases, that electronic screen. Blind spot warning systems, intelligent cruise control, radar and accident avoidance, rear view cameras. These additional features are likely to decrease claims and fatalities and create increased repair costs. Now, I'll tell you a little story. The guys in the room will get it. Just bear with me for a minute, girls. Some people know, most of you guys know, that some cars have more than one clutch because they have like two clutches. Dragsters, hot rods, they have two clutches. Some of the more expensive exotic cars have two clutches. And the reason they have two clutches is because the clutches have to do this, and the traction control is telling the wheels not to spin, and so on and so on. And all that heat and all that energy has to go somewhere. I know you're bored, girls. It's okay. This is short. The new Ferrari 458. I have a new Ferrari 458. It has two clutches too. But here's why. There's no shifter and there's no pedal. There's a computer in the back and there's hydropneumatics. There is actually a throw-out bearing and there are two clutch discs. And there's actually a shifter and there's arms that move the things over the gears to make that. All that is controlled by a computer and a hydraulic arm that's moving. That does everything your hand would have done and everything your foot would have done. And it shifts the car in 3 1,000ths of a second. Just stop and think about that. With your foot on the floor. You don't lift on the gas. Just like that. It shifts. And the reason it has two clutch discs is because it needs to change the disc because it shifts so fast that it needs to use this disc now and this disc next. It's mind-boggling to me. Absolutely mind-boggling. And of course, all that technology is going to flow down and flow down and flow down. And I remember in 1990, the first Mercedes SLs had the windows that when you close the door, the window would go down just a little and then come back up into the rubber weather strip. And it had some cool little things like that. Of course, today we're seeing that on all the cars. But it is so hard to fix cars with all that electronic stuff. And that is going to affect us. The vehicle age, the cars are getting older on the road. It can be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on ACV, so on and so on. From the first quarter of 2005 to the first quarter of 2008, the average age rose from 9 to 9.33. Pickups rose as well, and SUVs rose even more. We need to continue to monitor the trends, and they're going to cause continued pressure on margins. Cars are not getting cheaper. Sorry, wish I could tell you. It's a trend, and that cars are going to go down. Cars are going to get higher. And you know what I used to tell people at the auction 15 years ago? Because all the old timers, and I say that affectionately because I'm an old timer now. I said, you know what? You can have every week they had this. Oh my God, the cars are so high. What are those people? Those people are crazy. They're so stupid. Look what he paid for that car. Of course, he's here every week. He's here every week. He's buying cars every week. I said, you know what? You can have a heart attack, fall right on the ground, right here in the middle of the auction, and die. I promise you, we're going to stop for 3 minutes and we're going to talk about how nice you were, and then we're going to go back to buying cars. I'm serious. It's still the same. It's still the same. Cars are not going to get any cheaper. Growing needs for better quality. You think the customers are demanding now? Demanding is not the word you're using to describe the customers, I know, but trust me, they're going to get worse. Increased service demands and full service delivery. If you're still delivering with a pickup truck, if you're still delivering with some kind of mechanism, and I have a little story I like to tell about that. This one's for the ladies, okay? If you go and you buy a dishwasher and you pay $700 for it, and it's going to be delivered next Tuesday, imagine what it would be like. We sell parts that cost $700, right? Engines, doors, lots of parts. Imagine what it would be like if next Tuesday the Sears truck pulled up outside your house and they came in and they said, we've got your dishwasher. Oh, I'm thrilled. Could you come outside and help us unload it? I'm serious. Stop and think about that. And then when we get out there to unload it, the inside of the truck is covered with oil and all this crap and stuff inside the truck. Those standards don't work anymore. And you don't, sometimes we don't understand, well, why will they pay $2,500 for that same part from LKQ and I had it for $15 and they won't buy it from me? And the reason is because they can write a purchase order, the LKQ truck pulls it, they just mark it up, put it on the estimate, they get $3,200 over the $2,500. Truck pulls up, guy takes it off the back of the truck, brings it inside, has somebody sign the PO, gets in the truck and leaves. And a lot of us are not doing that yet. We're just not.